Wrapping up the week here on 28-22 Sports Night on a Thursday evening with Ricky Turner right to my right. I'm Nick Zelaya. It's been a wild week. This has been a crazy week, I feel like. Obviously, I didn't do my sports block last night. So, again, I apologize to the very kind Crestwood scorebook guy who didn't see me last night.
Yep,
hopefully he sets a highlights eventually. What did you say?
That's what happens. Yeah, breaking news.
Breaking news takes over everything. But you know who did talk yesterday in the 11? Josh Odell.
Josh Odell got some brief time.
He got a few minutes.
Yeah, he got a few. Well, everyone's got to know the weather.
It's like Lethal Shooter. I understand it now. I understand how it is. It's all right, though. We're going to make up for it today. I already talked with our producer, and I said,
got 7 minutes.
I dare you. Yeah. Let's double the time tonight. Let's make up for it. Let's talk a little hoops. We're going to talk a lot of hoops in the next hour here on the show. There's a lot going on between the pros, high school, college. I mean, Penn State got his first Big Ten win, so.
Yes.
Shout out to Nittany Lions.
Beat the Golden Gophers.
The Golden Gophers, who just got a huge win over Michigan State last night.
See?
Now Penn State goes to Ann Arbor tonight.
Oh, no.
Against the number 2 Michigan Wolverines.
Playing some ball this
year. Speaking of that, we didn't talk last night because one happened very late. I left the building around 11:30. I know you were working that extra hours. If people don't realize that, Ricky, alcoholic when it comes to work.
Yeah.
Workaholic, they call that.
Alcohol. Alcoholic.
It's been a long week. I'm all over the place right now. You're a workaholic. You're not an alcoholic. You're the complete opposite of that. You're a workaholic, Ricky. You grind. When were we here until last night?
1.
I
ended up leaving around 1, I think.
Because you don't leave the office until your job is done.
Yeah, I just thought I'd get something out there on that a bad fire in Dixon City that turned into our whole newscast and most of our newscasts today.
Yeah, I've been seeing the emails. It's been a lot of our, devastating. The pictures were. I was telling you last night. I was literally there a month ago getting my elbow checked out. My elbow's not done. It's still bugging a little bit though, so I may have to make a trip. Actually, I don't know if I'll be going back there or where I'll be going.
My sister was there. I think had work done on her wrist as well
recently.
I think last year she had carpal.
Okay.
It was carpal.
It's a huge camp. It's a huge building. It's massive.
Yeah, it is. Well, that was the original building that burnt down. That was just there. That was a Scranton it was just called Scranton Orthopedics, and then everything else was to the right of the building was just added on the main building and the other section of the building as well.
Wow.
But
scary stuff. Very scary stuff. I guess you could see it from miles away from the highways and.
Well, yeah. Again, originally when those are called out, I'm thinking, it's a heating. It's usually a heating duct that starts smoking, or a MRI machine that overheats. So I wasn't thinking anything of it, and then I get a call from our reporter who's going there, Heidi. She's like, "Oh, this is really bad." I'm like, and then our other assignment desk manager sends in a picture because I guess his dad. A lot of people live near there. I guess we have our.
We were getting a lot of emails last night. I'm like, holy crap! There's a lot of people that live right near Dixon City here. I didn't know that.
Our early morning producer lives near there. Our night side producer lives near there. And then of course our new assistant news director. She doesn't live far. I don't live far from there, but. Obviously, I was here, but yeah, a lot of video, and it quickly turned into a big situation. Everyone was showing up to our building last night. Paul came back, news director.
Yeah, big guy was back in the building.
Yep.
Well, at the end of the day, anyone that was seeing pictures, videos, getting updates on the website, it's all thanks to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate Ricky putting in the extra hours.
That's right.
Appreciate that. Bit of a tangent there. We were talking about Penn State, Michigan basketball. The reason my brain is cuckoo right now. You see Gonzaga last night.
Yes, they
lost to Portland.
Lost to Portland, 87-80.
First time I was watching the end of that game, and I was like, oh my God. Because I saw they were leading, I think Portland in the second half, there was 10 minutes left, and they were up 12, and I turned it on because I was like, holy crap. They're beating up Gonzaga. And at first I thought it was in Gonzaga. I'm like, whoa, to go to Spokane and do that's impressive. Obviously, it was in Portland, but the fans stormed the court. That was electric. I mean, it was the first time they beat a top 10 team, I think, in at least a decade. And for it to be of all teams,
Gonzaga.
that team in your conference is
WCC, right?
man, I love it. I'm gonna miss it because we this past weekend was the last time we're getting a St. Mary's Gonzaga rivalry in the WCC before Gonzaga joins the new Pac-12 that's beginning next year. I'm not sure where St. Mary's is going. Maybe they're staying in the WCC, but when it gets to that time of year where it's February and, especially on Saturday nights, and I'm just trying to, sit back and watch something on my couch, and hey, it's 11:30. I'm a night owl as it is. I'm up. What's on the TV? It used to be Pac-12 action, but now it's WCC. You got a good Gonzaga, San Francisco game, or the Gales facing Gonzaga. Always such an awesome game to watch.
Some Mountain West out there, too.
Oh, Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State. Man, we're weird.
We are.
I love it though.
Well, it's almost that time. It's
almost that time. We got to really start tuning up now that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I told everyone I've been checked out of football for a couple of weeks now, ever since last Sunday. We will talk. I will talk about the Super Bowl though. I will.
Yeah, we will.
I'll put my feelings aside and
talk about that last block
since it's Sunday already, which is wild. But yeah, we obviously have postseason basketball in this area starting up already next week, and we're just a few weeks away from conference tournaments in college basketball getting going. And what's today? February 5th, a little over a month until Selection Sunday.
Yep.
Which Nittany Lions fans, hate to break it to you, but don't know if unless they have one of the biggest turnarounds in a season in college basketball history, I don't know if we'll be watching the Nittany Lions in March Madness. Now, I'm trying to think. I know the Big Ten, last year it was only 14 out of the 18 teams in the conference made the Big Ten tournament. I don't know if that changed this year where all 18 made it, because that's why Penn State, the men and women, didn't play in it last year because they were 15 through 18 in the standings. But I'm not sure if they switched the rules this year where all 18 teams make it, because then again, you never know. You win the whole thing, you get an automatic bid. We'll get a taste to see what the Nittany Lions look tonight against a Wolverines team that just lost recently. Who did they lose to recently? I know Michigan just lost the other night.
Who did they lose to?
Maybe I'm mixing up Michigan. No, I don't think I'm mixing up Michigan State. That's besides the point. But yeah, we're ramping up things as we get closer to playoff basketball, and
they haven't lost in a.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Lost since Wisconsin back on.
Wisconsin scored like a 90 that game.
Yeah, 90.
It was a high scoring game.
Yes, both teams they combined for 104 in the second half.
Oh, yeah, that's just fun basketball to watch. But there's that feeling in the air where playoff basketball is right around the corner, and it's getting a little warmer out.
Well, compared to relatively,
I cracked the windows open in the car today a little bit, get a little fresh air.
There we go.
Not what was it? A few days ago, I think I was driving on the highway and I had my window down, partially trying to stay awake a little bit, just get some cold air, and I just had my hand hanging out the window. It was numb maybe after 3 minutes. And I was like, shoot. Can I feel into my hand still or no? Is it still there? Maybe I'll do that tonight on my way up to the pizza capital of the world. I forgot they claim themselves that. We got to go. Maybe we'll go sometime. You can watch me cause a scene. Maybe I'll cause a scene in there.
There's some good Italian restaurants up there.
In Old Forge?
Yes.
What are some of the good spots?
I know there's...
Take myself on a date. Next weekend's Valentine's Day. I'll go with myself. Or you could be my date if you're... You around? No, you're not around that Saturday? You're busy?
I won't be in town.
You won't be... Where are you going, down to Philly?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, well...
Taking the Beamer down there again or no?
Not doing that again. No more. No more. Not getting an Audi.
Audi, that's what it was. Audi. Yes. Audi BMW.
Not getting an
Pretty
Audi.
similar.
No
Just
more.
taking the good old Sube down there.
Yep. Put it on cruise control.
Yeah, stay in the right lane, but
stay in the right lane.
Especially if you're going to be cruising. Yeah. You don't want to be in the left lane on that highway.
Nope, you don't want to hold up traffic.
You don't want to make people have to go around you to the right.
Yep.
When they want to get around you, they better be going to the left. God, these street rolls around here. Something else.
Interesting state.
Where should I go, though, in Old Forge? What's some good... Well, the one pizza place, what is it, Ravello's, I think I've been to?
Yes.
Do they have the square pizza?
Again, I'm not up there too often. but I do know.
I believe that's the popular spot. I've been there. Solid pizza.
Yes, there's Arcaro and Janello's.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's the one.
Ravello's. There's a lot of O's. Salerno's. Well, obviously, you're very near Colaruso's cafe.
Very, very, very close.
It's a lot of Italian places. And
maybe I'll come with my own
Italian
pizza
people.
shop and plop it in Old Forge, Nicolo's. Go along with the trend. You know, maybe I'll have to
Cafe
go.
Rinaldi.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of places up there.
Maybe I'll swing by this weekend. Go grab a
Good.
little something.
Good.
Or I'll wait till Valentine's Day weekend. I don't know if I'll plan.
You'll be working Sunday.
What?
You're working Super Bowl Sunday, so
I am working this weekend, so maybe I'm going to want a little pizza.
it's true.
You're not here this weekend, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
You've been grinding lately. You've been working.
Well,
You have a fat little paycheck. What are we going to spend it on?
20 hours of 21, almost 21 hours OT. I don't know. Probably save it.
David is a smart man. I was going to say you should get yourself something good. Well, maybe you'll have to spend it on next Saturday. Yeah, get a fat chain. Walk in here. That NIL budget kicking in here at WBRE.
That would go over well with the parents. Lots of mom.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Turner wouldn't be a fan of a fat Cuban chain sitting on your neck.
Decided to
Sorry, I spent a little too much time in the bear.
had ice on my wrist too.
Yeah. Oh, they'd love that. They would love that. Yeah, speaking of Old Forge, that's where I'm venturing to tonight. They got a heck of a game with Riverside. And as we remember last time these two teams played, it was getting heated at Riverside.
Yes,
There were a few technical fouls during that game.
Who in the fourth quarter or five?
There were a few in the fourth quarter. It was tension was getting high, and obviously Old Forge had a late lead in that game. And I think these are the highlights from the game, right? I'm trying to, those are it. Their Old Forge, honestly, you could say dominated most of this game, and then Riverside, I mean, when you've got two scorers in Nico and Braden, such great closers, especially Nico. And I saw that last week at Dunmore. I mean, he has 7 points at halftime, explodes for 24 in the second half, finishes with 31. So when things aren't falling for him, he told me he's going to keep shooting until his arm falls off. And that's the mentality you got to have.
It's a gunsling.
Whatever the situation is, he'll be able to close a game. But man, I'm excited to see this ball game. And there's a lot of good games in the area tonight. But this one, when I was making the schedule, because now I'm trying to, really be on top of my scheduling.
That's right.
This is the one I said, you know what, we're going to this one. We're showing out the Riverside and Old Forge. Haven't been to the Devil's Den yet this year, so.
Devil's Den, big gym, a lot of room, so you won't be. So again, it's probably going to be packed, but they have room there.
Yeah, that's who. Hopefully I get in.
Basketball rich community.
They love that. They love their hoops. Oh my gosh. And we were trying to do the math on playoffs next week. Man, it's a struggle. We sat for like a good 30 minutes trying to figure out the Wyoming Valley Conference playoffs.
We're trying to decipher how they compose the bracket.
This is why we got to have analytics teams on this stuff, and I'll tell the viewers.
Is different. Like each.
Yeah, the amount of teams in the playoffs, and
it's not one set. No, it's very dependent on the LIAA, WVC. Then you have the Mountain League up there in the Poconos.
The PHAC
down there in the
out west in Williamsport. Schuylkill League.
Yeah, Schuylkill League.
That gets going this weekend.
Yeah, it does. Because I believe I saw all their scheduling's done. Pottsville's done playing.
That's what I like. It made my life so easy. I looked up Schuylkill League online, trying to find the bracket. They've got the quarterfinals, the two teams that have buys into the semifinals, when the games are going to be, what locations. Beautiful.
And that's where you'll be spending your time this weekend.
Yeah, I might venture down there. I don't know. I was going to talk to Lena and see what she wanted to do. If she wanted to go spend some time out with the Schuylkill folks, or if she wanted me to stay in studio, or vice versa. I'm not opposed to either. It's always fun to call some highlights. It's what I love to do. So I do it for a living. But also it's nice to, go say my hellos and, venture down there at the big mic and see what other folks in the community are there. And, I've only been there a couple of times. I went for that Nativity game down at Nativity BVM, and much smaller gym than the Marks Hall that will be hosting the games in Pottsville. But that's a place I've never been to. So maybe I will go down there just because I haven't been to that gym and it looks huge. I don't know if have you ever been down there?
I've never been down there. I've seen it. It's got the big scoreboard in the middle.
Yeah. They got the seats all around.
Yeah, seats. Special venue.
It's a good atmosphere. Good atmosphere for some basketball. But yeah, the Old Forge Riverside game. I'm curious. The Blue Devils got to play 4 quarters. That's what's important for them, and that's where. Not only that game against Riverside, but the Dunmore game as well, where there was the buzzer beater 3. That was a game they were up 7 points in the fourth quarter, and they let a lead slip in, and that's become the most crucial thing for this. And we're looking at their score. I mean, a lot of their losses are by single digits. These are close games.
They're not bad losses. I mean, I think their latest loss was to Holy Cross. That was by 3. I think the time before that was either Riverside or Dunmore. Riverside, I believe they lost by 5. It was within 2 possessions. And then Dunmore, they lost by 3. And then an earlier season lost to Wilkes-Barre area, who's a pretty good program in their own right. They lost that game by 8. So, yeah, their big emphasis is going to be on closing. And this is a team you've got to play 4. Riverside's a team you've got to play 4 quarters against. They're not a team that you could show up for 2 quarters because you're probably still going to lose by double digits.
Yeah.
And they controlled a majority of that last game. I believe I forget who went off in that last game that they played. I'm losing track because I know
which one. Which one are you talking about?
Old Forge Riverside. The last time they played.
I think Nico had 40 that game.
Is that the game, Nico?
Yeah, he had 40.
You lose track because I know Braden's had a couple great games recently.
I saw he's averaging like 32 in his last 5 games or something.
He's heating up, and those two, when they're both going, forget about it.
That's the thing I really worry about with this team because you get to and Coach Gavio, who we had earlier this week, he was essentially saying you can be the most dominant team in this area. But by the time you get to state quarterfinals, state semifinals, and you're going up against talent where maybe not necessarily the talent is, the gap is so much larger, but like genetically and just the size of some of those kids they'll go up against, they're just bigger and they're just more athletic. And that's what I worry about. That's going to be the real test for that Riverside team for me is when Nico is defended by a player that's bigger than him, more athletic, and he can't just shoot over someone. How do they adjust? Because then, Braden, you could say Braden's what, 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah. I mean, so these are both D1 recruited athletes.
Yeah, Braden more for football. I mean, he could probably play basketball, but Nico obviously for basketball. But you shut one of them down, maybe 2 if they go up against, if they find themselves against a really good team. Where's the scoring come from? Because those two are 80-90% of their points every single night.
Yeah, like against Old Forge the last time, they had 52 out of their 68.
So Braden had what, 12 that game?
Braden had 12, Nico had 40.
He had 40, yeah, okay. That's my only concern with that team is what happens if they find themselves in a situation like that. Because again, we're deep enough into the regular season now where they've played practically every league opponent twice, and they still haven't figured out the 2. You would think, we played the first matchup, we'll adjust for the second matchup. Maybe we play a little tighter defense. And I saw that last week when Riverside and Dunmore played. I mean, they were legitimately face guarding Nico, not letting him, full court. Someone's on him. Don't even let him bring the basketball up. And eventually, he starts hitting shots in the second half, and they pull away from Dunmore. But that's going to be the fascinating thing for me. And also, when it comes to choosing different games that I want to cover on a nightly basis, you know me, I try to spread love as much as I can. I'm always trying to go to the different games. I went Pocono Mountain West last week because they're having a great season. We haven't covered them at all. They beat Scranton Prep, so it worked out well. I was able to talk to the team, and I've tried to, I hadn't talked to Crestwood all season. Before last night when the girls basketball team, when they played Dallas. And so I try to spread the love while I can, but at the same time, this isn't the pros where you can have a guy hang around for 20 years.
Nope.
Let alone in this day and age, you get maybe 3-4 years, because for all we know, Nico could decide to go the private school route for the last 2 years of his career. He's only a sophomore. So you only have a small amount of time with a player of his talent that is, one of very few that the area has seen, and you want to go take advantage of covering a player like him. So that's why, when you got great games like Dunmore and Holy Cross tonight, where Holy Cross is on the rise, and Scranton Prep and Abington Heights, two of the best teams, in that part of the area as well. But Riverside and Old Forge, knowing how tense it got last week or last time they played, knowing, the rivalry between the two. I believe it's the Triborough rivalry they call the game. I believe that's what Riverside and Old Forge is.
3 boroughs. Yeah,
they're not far. What have they? 10 minutes from each other?
Not
minutes,
even. Yeah.
And just knowing the talent that's Nico is, and being able to watch that in person. I think it's important to cover that. I think it's important to cover that because when he's gone, who knows when someone of his stature is going to come back in the area where he's flooding in Division I talent, and on an off night he can still drop 30 on you.
Yeah, and yeah, you hit it right on the head. You don't know, especially in basketball, the talent. Well, it's still a very, despite the talent that we say in this area, it's still a majority of your Division I athletes are coming from football.
Yep.
Football and
wrestling a little bit too, probably.
Baseball as well.
Baseball, yeah, I think there's a good amount of talent in baseball too.
So again, basketball, you rarely see this type of talent that's getting this type of attention this early in his career. So yeah, you really don't know what's going to happen. And, his shot-making ability and his ability to get going, especially when you hold him to like 5 in the first half and then he drops almost 30 on you in the second half. You really don't see talent like that come across this area very often. And when you have a chance, especially with these two teams, the proximity of each other, the game that they played last time, the history that they have with each other, Logan, we can't forget about the talent on the other side as well. Cam Parker had 22 in that last game. Logan Fanning's a mismatch for almost any defense in this area with his size. And Old Forge, they're going to press you because they put that big 6'6" Logan Fanning in front of the ball.
Tough to inbound
in front of the ball. And they're gonna try and make life hard for both Nico and Braden Rose coming up the court. But you would fully expect what looks to be a great game tonight. And the atmosphere in that gym, it's probably going to be another electric one, as we seem to get at least once or twice, maybe 3 times a week, a great game out of the Lackawanna Conference.
I also like to watch players and coaches chirp at each other too, which maybe happened a little bit the last time these two teams played. I know I'm going to get that again tonight.
You're getting that at least on.
I might hang by a certain bench so I can hear it this time, because the last time it was on the other side of the floor. It was happening. I want to hear the action. I want to hear what's said to each other.
I don't blame you.
Makes it more fun. Makes it enjoyable.
It does.
And get some shots of it. Should mic up some players in this game.
I'm sure you'd have a lot of expletives, because I know both of those players on Riverside. They like to talk.
Both coaches are very passionate on these two teams.
That's why we had 5 techs in the fourth quarter this last matchup.
Yeah, it gets electric in the Lackawanna League. All right, let's get a break in here on 28-22 Sports Night. We'll be back to talk some more hoops, and later on in the show, we'll give our Super Bowl predictions.
Yes, we will.
Why don't we? We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on the show. Back here on 28-22 Sports Night here on the 28-22 Now app. Remember, we're 8 to 9 Monday through Thursday here on the streaming app, talking everything, local sports, pro sports, college sports, you name it. Girls basketball, a big time matchup last night between Dallas and Crestwood. You remember the last time these two met in Dallas, they were able to beat Crestwood. But last night, the start Crestwood got off to, and I was I was going to mention in my highlights, like you would say it's a perfect start, leading 18-1 after the first quarter. But I think saying perfect start is even a bit of an understatement with how that game was going. I mean, Dallas, they couldn't hit any shots, but Crestwood, it felt like every time they went down the floor, they were passing the ball around and hitting threes and forcing Dallas to use a couple of timeouts in the first 8 minutes. But you also got to give your kudos to Dallas for coming back in the second quarter and third quarter. They could have easily given up. You're on the road. The place is loud. The atmosphere is a tough one, knowing what's up for grabs between the two teams. And, the winner advances to the WVC playoffs, and the other one is waiting for districts to kick off. And, Crestwood was able to close things out in the fourth quarter. But ultimately, the Comets, talking to the coach yesterday and a couple of the players, they said that win over Hazleton got them going a little bit on Sunday. And for them to close out the regular season with the win over Hazleton and now Dallas, you would think their motivation and momentum has to be much higher than anyone else in the area right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these two teams, we just had Joe Gavio on the show on Monday, and he was talking a lot about, was it Monday?
Tuesday.
That's what. Okay, Tuesday.
Wacky week. It's been a wacky week.
It has been.
I called you an alcoholic earlier. I did not mean to call you that, so it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, you had Joe Gavio on this show talking about these two teams in particular in that Class 5A, and he's right about them. I mean, these two teams go back and forth. These are two of the best teams. These two programs could have both boys and girls basketball programs headed to states by the end of, next week, the week after that. So it's going to be a fun matchup. But yeah, it was a dream start for Crestwood because you could text me right after the first quarter, 18-1, and that 1 point came with 2.5 seconds on a free throw, left in the first quarter. But Dallas turns it around in the second quarter, outscoring Crestwood 19-7, and all of a sudden at the halftime, it's a 5-point game. So if you're Dallas, you're like, after being down 17 in the first quarter, we'll take down 5 going into halftime. And I'm sure that's what their coach was saying in the locker room. And it was just from there on out, it was a dogfight between these two. But Crestwood, again, anytime you get a win against Joe Gavio's Hazleton area squad, it's that's a notch on the belt for you. And to get that win so late in the year, that's a win that could really galvanize a group and get them going. And it really looked at as Crestwood really took control in the back half of this game, winning that by 12. And to have them do what they do and have Dallas, a player like Molly Walsh, who struggled early in this one, still finished with 17. And Crestwood is quite the opposite. You had 3 players in double digits. You had Kira Doherty with 12. You had Jordan Andrews with 14. And then you have Jackie Gallagher with 11 as well, as Crestwood has become a real balanced squad. And both of these teams, you look at it in the 5A realm, either of these squads can make a run in the state tournament. And if we see this... If we see these two teams facing off in this playoff tournament, and possibly both of these teams going to states, these two teams are going to be two of the more fun girls programs to watch as we head into state basketball.
It's a good environment. It was, you had on each side the parents from Crestwood and Dallas. I didn't tell you this. The entire Crestwood student section got kicked out in the third quarter. I'm dead ass with you right now.
You and the games you go to in student sections lately.
It was unbelievable. I've seen, a student gets picked out of the crowd and they're like, all right, you got to go. The ref had his back turned and I don't know what was said on the other side of the gym. He blows his whistle to stop play and goes, all of you, you're gone. And calls over the police officers and they escort the entire student section out. I don't know what could have been said. Some Crestwood guy was like, the ref didn't know who it was, and you can't just pick out a guy that, he didn't say anything and he gets tossed, as a sacrifice in the student section. So he didn't know who it was, so he said to all of you, you're gone. And I don't know, I didn't see them walking out because I was waiting.
Student section's reaction?
I mean, they were chirping. They were yelling at the Dallas bench like, oh, Crestwood rules. And granted, refs didn't have an A+ performance yesterday.
You did say that.
for as low scoring of a game as it was still almost a 2-hour game. We were in the
calls.
Oh my God. They hit, you don't get, a bonus is 5 fouls on high school basketball around here. We hit the bonus, both teams, a couple times in each quarter. Like, the stoppages were pretty, there was a foul every 10 to 15 seconds, it felt like. And
I'm sure both coaches.
On top of that, what?
I'm sure both coaches were.
They were having, both coaches, they're not the animated type that would freak out. They're more laid back a little bit between Coach Mary and Vince Bucarelli. But there are also a few missed calls that I think got the parents going a little bit. But yeah, I didn't mention that to you, that the whole student section got kicked out because they were chirping. Insane scene. But ultimately, Crestwood, I think if these two teams were to meet again, I would probably lean the Comets just because of their size, their shooting ability. They have a few scoring options. Dallas, they can, there's others that can hit some baskets, but they pretty much revolve around Molly, while Crestwood, all 5 starters can pretty much score when you need them to.
Balance.
A lot of balance. And that's why I think that's a big reason why they were able to beat Hazleton. And Dallas, unfortunately went 0-2 against Hazleton. But yeah, crazy atmosphere. The boys play tonight, which I love this about high school basketball because, if there's obviously physicality in both girls and boys basketball, but if someone gets bumped, in the girls' game, I love it because, there's great sportsmanship, which is awesome. The boys don't give 2 Fs. Like, there were a couple instances in the game last night where I was like, tomorrow night, there might be a fight. There might be pushes and shoving a little bit, which is totally fine. I love it. If anything, I would rather the sportsmanship side because, again, we're not getting paid to do this. This is all for fun and everyone knows each other. But yeah, if similar situations transpire in tonight's game between the boys, it might get a little chippy, let's just say. I won't be there. Is everything all right, Ricky?
Yeah.
Again, I know you're a busy man right now between news and sports, and shoot, I'm shocked they haven't thrown you back in the weather corner for a day yet.
Go help Josh out.
He likes it. He likes the peace and quiet back there.
I've been blaming him.
Come
out for the occasional.
He does a little loop around the station, say his hellos, share some stories. He's got an entertaining life.
He does.
A few weeks ago, remember when he needed the tie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He texted me and was like, "Hey, are you home? Can you let me borrow a tie?" And luckily I wasn't doing my 6 o'clock sportscast in the studio, so I was like, "Please take my tie, borrow it." Today I forgot my shirt, as I was telling you. So I told him, I was like, "Hey, let's do a little switcheroo with the shirts. Is that cool?" And he's like, we could have done that. And I was like, no, it's okay. I got one. But I appreciate the, that would have been a little wild. Imagine at 11, no commercial break in between.
Yeah.
How would we have done that? We would have had to throw that sports stinger up there for a good minute 30.
Yeah, you start talking.
Or straight to the video, straight to the highlights.
Straight to the highlights.
I'll come back on camera and say hello to everyone in a little bit. Let me just get the shirt on real quick. Wild stuff happening in the TV world. I know we talk a lot about District 2 and the basketball. It's great basketball. I mean, I'm really, really excited to watch these playoffs the next several weeks between the conference tournaments, the district tournaments. But District 4, I think also, they've got a team out there in Lewisburg that we've been to a couple times the last couple of weeks. They're a good ball club. And you know, I always love to watch these teams in person because there's only so much you can see from the video that we get. And that's why I'm willing to, make an hour and a half trip down to the Schuylkill area for a game or venture 50 minutes north to a Susquehanna basketball game so I can watch those Sabres in action. But this is a team I'd love to see at some point. And I hope maybe in the first round of states they get matched up with a District 2 team where they're a little closer to our area that I can check it out. But based on the video I see, I mean, I think they're 16-4 this year. It seems like they have a real balanced attack, senior heavy group that does a little bit of everything. They can shoot. They're super athletic, and it looks like they have size as well on this team. But they're a team that, doesn't really get too much attention. That's our faults. We can take the blame on that, right? We can be honest when we aren't covering a team enough, and we weren't covering Lewisburg enough. But the last couple of weeks we saw, last night saw them beat Loyal Sock. Last week they also beat a Danville team by a good amount. So we've gone to a couple blowouts by Lewisburg, but I also think that that's a test to what Leon Tucker has done in his third season as head coach for them, and has built a good little squad that I think could, no doubt, make some noise in Class 4A. Of course, first starts in the PHAC Conference Tournament, which I believe is next week, Thursday and Friday. They're the 1 seed.
I have to get down there.
Yeah, you know what?
Make
a trip out there, right?
Yeah.
Going to the Green Dragon land.
I know Minersville's also another squad that's killing it out there. I think they're 20-1.
Down in District 11,
yes.
they're having a really good season, despite their star from last year. Now I think he was at the UCF. Dante was at the UCF game where they upset Texas Tech earlier this week. I think I saw on his Instagram story. So
good luck.
Enjoying good Orlando already. Yeah, maybe he should go to every game. Maybe UCF was where Mikey Williams was at first, right?
Yes.
I think now he's in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Sacramento State under head coach Mike Bibby.
Mike Bibby.
I don't know. Again, we just go wherever we want at this point. Maybe I'll transfer. Maybe I'll transfer to a different station and then transfer the following station. But Nick, your contract says 2 years. No. I'm going to actually transfer out.
I want some NIL. I want some of that.
We get some NIL money on top of it. But no. Curious to see. Obviously, District 4, you got Lewisburg. Shamokin is a good program, and Warrior Run. I mean, they're a team that I think will be the team out of District 4 this year, just because of the size they have between, when you got a power forward and center in high school that are 6'8" and 6'6" apiece, you're going to beat a lot of teams. And there's a reason Warrior Run is 20-1 right now, and they've only lost one game, and I think that was to an out-of-state team. So they've been a heck of a program as well. And, that district tournament's going to be exciting as well. What?
They lost to George Washington Carver. I believe that's a Philadelphia school.
Okay, so. Because that was a double overtime game, right? Double OT.
They lost 77-72.
So, I mean, they make an extra free throw in regulation and they're undefeated.
Yeah. I mean, they beat Lewisburg 59-56. And
wow. So they play again or no? Just once this year?
They do.
Was that an early game?
That was an early game.
Okay.
I think that was technically one of their out of conference, because they're technically a 3A school, so they're in there with the likes of Southern Columbia, who's 14-5. I think didn't we just get to a Southern Columbia?
The Warrior Run.
Yes.
They won in overtime.
Southern Columbia Warrior Run, Towanda, and that's 16-4 as well. Mifflinburg, who I think beat Lewisburg. Honestly, I think Lewisburg lost to them, I believe, on their schedule. They did. They lost 52-44 against Mifflinburg. They lost the Warrior Run. They lost the Selinsgrove Seals as well, 53-47. And I believe they lost to Southern Columbia, 65-54. But yeah, Warrior Run, they got some dogs up there. But Lewisburg, again, can't sleep on the Lewisburg. Those Green Dragons mounting success, and they're going to be again a fun team to watch in that 4A division. But Warrior Run, Lewisburg, the last time they played, it was a 3-point game. Should be interesting if they can face off again.
I'm fascinated. I need to get to every game. I gotta find a way to do this. I just as a junkie, I want to watch it. Maybe by then you can help us out.
Who?
Maybe you can help us out by then.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
I don't know. Again, it's just it's. You're like Shohei Ohtani. You do a hell of a job in news. You do a hell of a job in sports. But it's like you had Tommy John surgery in the sports department, so you can only do news right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a one. I can contribute to both departments, but
you're contributing again, staying until 1 a.m. last night to help with the fire. But we got to get you back up to speed. Not even back up to speed. We gotta introduce you to the sport. I mean, I guess you do help obviously in coming here in the podcast, but we'd love you full time.
I'd love to help out.
I know you do. We're gonna make that happen. I'll do some begging. I'll talk to the folks upstairs. Please.
HR.
I need Richard.
Please.
I'm it's gonna be almost a year and I haven't had a Rich in my sports department. I need one back there again.
Yeah, we need one.
Is there anything else I'm missing from high school basketball? I feel like we've covered a good amount.
No, I believe we got most of it. Obviously, I guess girls basketball in the Lackawanna League is another thing. I think that's pretty safe to say that right now that is being ruled by the Dunmore Bucks, and then you have Addison Kilmer up there in Susquehanna County.
I hope she reaches 3,000.
They had a close game recently on the third, 37-31 against Elk Lake.
Man.
So they got tested a little bit. Elk Lake was 11-7 on the year. They're third right now in AA. But yeah, right now you look at the girls basketball, at least in AAA, being ruled by the Dunmore Bucks, who have still not lost a conference game. And then you look at the 4A there with Scranton Prep, Valley View, Honesdale, even Nanticoke 17-5 in that 4A region as well. Those girls in Nanticoke are putting up some numbers. So that 4A region should be fun. And then, of course, we've already covered the 5A and 6A with Hazleton, Crestwood, Dallas, North Pocono, Abington Heights. I mean, just a lot of fun squads. So that Wyoming Valley Conference, 5A, 6A, they've got some squads there.
No doubt.
And it seems like the Lackawanna League rules more so the 4A and 3A realm.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm going to do my best. I should ask for 15 minutes in sports for like the next 4 weeks so we can cover everyone. I want to cover everyone. That's what I want to do. I enjoy checking out good basketball. Nanticoke's a team I haven't gotten to yet.
They're balling though.
I take fault at that. I don't blame anyone. I don't blame them. They can reach out to me and put me in a spot where they're putting pressure on me to come cover them. And if I say no, I'm going to look like the a-hole here. But I will go check out the Trojan Nets at some point, I promise, very soon. We got playoff basketball coming up next week, so I'll definitely be tuning into them. All right, is that everything? Yep. I think we're good, right? All right, want to talk some Super Bowl after the break?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's get to a break and we'll talk some football. It's not the Super Bowl, the big game.
The big game, yeah, the big game. We can't.
To most people,
yes.
It's not a big game. It's a little game to me. I could care less. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Few minutes left on the show here on 2822 Sports Night. Ricky, are you a movie guy at all?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
You see the ad for that new GOAT movie? It's a real-life GOAT that plays basketball.
No, I did not.
If you change plans next weekend for Valentine's Day weekend, let me know. Maybe we can go watch that movie together. It looks awesome. It looks so cool.
CGI, I'm sure this should be interesting.
It's so sick. It's awesome. I have no idea what it's about. I think it's just a GOAT that plays basketball. That's all I know. So it's pretty much a biography on LeBron James. Yeah. Piss off some people around here.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about that.
You know.
We're aware. The big game. Yes, Super Bowl 60. Game. I think I could say Super Bowl 60 and won't get in trouble.
You can say the title.
Yes. You
can't use it for promotional purposes.
We ain't promoting anything, so we should be all right, right? All right.
Yep.
It's been I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been enough, what's the word for this? Like
hype?
Yes. It hasn't really been hyped up as it's been in recent years. And I don't know if do you feel differently about that?
Oh, no. I think the NBA trade dedeadline has arguably been.
That's taken up a lot between all the trades that have happened. And
there's a new team in town.
What's up?
I said there's a new team in town.
They still feeling good 24 hours afterwards?
Yeah, they play the Pistons tonight, so that'll probably give me a slice.
Your parents are loyal watchers. They enjoy your enthusiasm yesterday on the show.
Yeah, they didn't say anything. I'm sure they did. But
Good. They should be happy. Maybe they'll get you a cake. Maybe they'll get you like a Trae Young, Anthony Davis, and a Wizards jersey on a cake. Congratulations, son.
Yeah, until they're out week.
Yeah, until they're out before November 15th. I feel like the enthusiasm isn't there for the Super Bowl this year, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because the Chiefs aren't in it, because that's what we've become accustomed to the last 5 years. There isn't that superstar at quarterback. You got Sam Darnold, you got Drake May, who's up and coming, and an MVP candidate in its own. Aren't the awards tonight? I think the NFL honors are tonight too.
Yes.
I forgot about too. Like tonight, I haven't been seeing posts on social media. Usually you'll be like, who gets MVP tonight? Who's going to be, the coach of the year? I'm seeing a bunch of NBA stuff. The NBA is just taking over what's going on. Nonetheless, though, I'm fascinated, and we got 7 minutes on the clock. I made sure to make sure we got timing. What's the number one thing you're watching for on Sunday, and will ultimately decide who wins, the Seahawks or the Patriots?
I'm looking at, again, I think I've glazed a lot the Seahawks defensive line, and I'm going to continue to do that. I think you've got to stop these three big people up front. Murphy, Williams, Reed. Those are three big people, and the one weakness that the Patriots have is their offensive line. One clear weakness. I don't think they have a very good offensive line. Now, Drake May has turned the ball over, and that's a whole other issue in itself, but you've got to keep Drake May upright. This is a really, really great defense. Mike McDonald has done a hell of a job with this defense. Drafting Nick Emanware, who's basically
is he hurt? He's hurt a little bit, right?
It came out on the injury report that he had an ankle injury.
There was that video of him walking to the hotel and he had a limp on him.
So obviously I don't know what's going to happen there. Hopefully he's able to play. But Nick Emanware was a physical specimen coming out of South Carolina. A guy who could be that in-box linebacker, come down and play great against the run, but he's also has the physical strength to hold up against tight ends and man coverage, and he's not going to get pushed around and bullied in that regard. But you've got to keep up. You've got to keep these big people away from Drake May. And then, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence on the outside, who it seems like he's having a resurgence here after leaving Dallas. He's putting up some really good numbers, defending the run really well, getting back to putting up those numbers against the passer. But if the Patriots cannot control the line of scrimmage, if they cannot run the ball with Ramondre Stevenson or Travion Henderson, this is going to be a long game for Drake May, because once those big guys get after them, these aren't the edge rushers. I think the most effective pressure where you can't run away from is the one that's coming right up the middle. You can escape the pocket if the edge collapses, but it's another thing if these big people are pushing right up the middle and getting right in your face, because you've got nowhere to go. The other place you've got to go is backwards, and that is not where you want to go as a QB, especially as a young QB. You don't want to do that and make a mistake. But if the Seahawks could get pressure right up the middle, right in the face of Drake May, and this team can't run the ball, I don't know. I just don't think this game's going to be particularly close to start off, but I really think things will get out of hand early. If the Patriots cannot hold up, their interior offensive line cannot keep these big people away from Drake May.
I'm curious to see. Yeah, I'm curious to see how he plays, because I've been saying it, and bias aside, he hasn't looked good in the playoffs. No, he's been losing the football. The efficiency and the numbers that we were seeing all year, where he was consistent. He threw every game for over 200 yards, but hadn't thrown for over 300 yards in a game. But it was working, and it's working. I mean, they're in the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. But he has to play a clean game. He has to play a very clean game, like you said. I think Stephon Diggs has to have a really big game for them. He has to kind of step up, and he's talking a lot of stuff over the last couple of days and praising himself. And I think he needs to be the number one option that we saw in Buffalo for years. If they want a chance to knock off a Seattle team that's going to put up numbers, and they're going to put up numbers fast. This offense, it was a bummer they lost Charbonnet. But Kenneth Walker has stepped in, and he was good as it was, but he's now that he's the number one back without that number two guy kind of lingering around, he's shown that he can put up big numbers. And obviously JSN and Smith and Jigba has been, the number one, maybe number two receiver in all of the NFL this season. And Cooper Kupp is coming off a really solid game 2 weekends ago against the Rams. So what I'm fascinated to know is what the headlines are Monday morning. I think you can pick up the Patriots. The Patriots win the Super Bowl, is a dynasty back. Is a new dynasty upon us in New England. But if Seattle wins, what's the main headline on all the lower third graphics we see on all the morning shows? That's what I'm fascinated to know what it is. Is it something to do with Sam Darnold? Is it something along the lines of Legion of Boom 2.0? That's where I'm fascinated to know what comes out. And again, we can't predict that. It depends what happens on the game on Sunday. But did you see, by the way, Tom Brady was asked who he thinks he's going to win, and
Vince Wilfork ripped him.
He was pissed.
Yeah. Said you can't call yourself a Patriot for life and not
serious. I mean, the guy only played for 20 years.
Yeah.
And what did he say specifically? It was something along the lines of just like, he gave an analyst answer.
He hopes the best team wins.
It's a little fishy. That's strange.
It's one thing if you're I'd understand if he's broadcasting the game.
Yes.
It's not on his network. You can say what you want.
Yes, that's very true. And between, we obviously didn't really touch on it, but you see Kraft didn't get into the Hall of Fame either.
Yes.
And now it's like,
that's another.
This is getting weird. And again, it's not like, and I understand it's a new era of New England Patriots football, but he played with Vrabel. Kraft is still there, that he gave the guy a chance and ultimately won him 6 Super Bowl rings. That's weird.
It is
very strange weird to me why he wouldn't be like all New England Patriots, the team that I've played for my entire career. No. Let's just see who wins.
Yeah,
I just want to watch some good football. But you know what?
I don't know.
Kudos
good football
to him
too, but you've got to have.
We got like 30 seconds. What's your score prediction?
I'm looking at this. I think the headline after this game is going to be, I think Sam Darnold is going to take that leap into and show people he could win. I think that's going to be the headline. Now, if it's a bad game and they still win, it's probably going to be more so the Legion of Boom. But I'm still looking at this and I'm saying I'm going to take Seattle 27-17.
27-17. It's a good prediction. I like the Seahawks too. Shocker, right?
I just think they're the better team.
I agree. No, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I can't wait for them to win, and we come here on Monday night and we went 0-2. But it's all right.
You're gonna be. You might be off Monday.
I am. Yeah, I'm out of town Monday. Maybe you won't want to see me if the Patriots win either on Monday. You might want to give me a couple days to reset. Which you feel the same way, I bet too.
Oh yeah, I don't want them to win.
I was talking to a Bills fan the other day, and he was like, "I want to watch that team lose by 50."
I'd love to sit there. Go Darnold.
Man,
JSN.
Sam Darnold plays in a Super Bowl in 3 days.
It's amazing what getting away from the Jets can do.
Poor Mark Hiller, man.
Yeah.
Poor Mark Hiller. All right. Thank you for being with us and dealing with me in this wacky week. You've been great as always, Ricky. Myself, my brain's been a little bit all over the place, but we're going to go watch some excellent basketball tonight.
Yes, you are.
So that's good.
In the Lackawanna League.
Good old OF versus Riverside. I want to see a fight. I want a fight to break out on the court. That'd be awesome. Just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. Let's play some ethical, clean hoops. That's all I want to see. We'll see you next week. Ricky and Elena. Ricky and Elena. Alana, Elena, whatever we call her. We'll see you next week for 4 more episodes of 2822 Sports Night. Have a great weekend.